welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, keep me a favorite, yada yada. Y'all, I done recorded this whole video, about to edit it, and my audio is not working. So first off, I apologize about this audio because this is my camera's default audio. I need to order a new mic. Sorry. But yeah, basically this video, the topic is burning on my chest, and I feel like I have to record it now, which is why I won't wait. So yeah, just bear with me for this one video. Hopefully it's not terrible, and hopefully you can't hear my kids in the background. Anyways, so this video, y'all, is gonna be a combination of, it's gonna be a story time really, but I'm gonna be relating it a lot to the whole Derrick Jaxn situation, just because there's a lot of similarities in it. And I feel like whether we've dated him, we've been married to him, we got a friend who's like this, I feel like we all know a Derrick Jaxn, okay? And that is why it is extremely shocking and disappointing to see the response that a lot of, especially females, have had towards this whole situation. Okay, so basically I've been seeing on the internet since this whole thing came out, a lot of people, of course, when the situation goes public, they are making their opinions known, and a lot of people are blaming the wife. They're saying, you know, basically her appearance, the way she carries herself, and the fact that most of the mistresses that have come forward have been somewhat seemingly more successful, or having like an Instagram model kind of figure in that kind of situation. And then they look at the wife. A lot of people have been doing that. They've been talking about how, you know, just making certain comparisons that, I mean, I get it, it is normal, because even us as females, when you're in a situation where you're dating somebody or just whatever, and they choose to step out on you with somebody else, we don't always want to do it or even realize that we are doing it, but most times we get into that frame of mind where we're just like really reserved, and we're just thinking constantly, okay, well, what's the difference between me and this person? Why are they choosing this person over me? Why are their feelings more valid than mine? And like, we really kind of beat ourselves up. And I think it's a situation that we've all sort of been there or been familiar with. We have a friend who's been there, you know, we've been that shoulder that a friend is, you know, that shoulder to lean on, or we've seen our parents go through it. Like, we've all seen it. You've seen your brother treat some shorty like this or something, you know what I mean? And I just want to share this story just to kind of remind us a little bit that we are a lot more vulnerable than we think we are sometimes. And it can happen to the best of us. And the story is a very, 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 very touchy subject for me. And it is somewhat funny now that I'm not in the situation no more and I know better. But I'm not telling this story for it to be like a laughing matter for anybody who is going through the situation at the moment. Just know that I feel for you. Trust me. Trust and believe that I feel for you, because I know what it is like when you are in the situation at the moment. And if you've never been in the situation or whatever, I just want you to take away the fact that, you know, you're not above the situation, and if you can offer anything to anybody who is in a situation like this, it should be some bit of positivity. And if you ain't got nothing good to say, if your mama never told you, I'ma tell you, keep your goddamn mouth shut. And yes, with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into this story, okay? All right, basically this was back in the day. I was still in Jamaica. I was in college, you know. I was kind of in a mindset where I was not lost, but I was lost. I was, you know, that time frame between like high school and college where you're kind of not really sure what you want to do. Some people are very sure and they got their shit together, okay? I was not one of them people. I was really just going to college because it was just the next step. It's what you do. I'm Caribbean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. He was going to college, you know what I mean? So I was just doing that, but I really had no interest, and I was kind of like this, kind of like going with the wind. This was my first time living away from home as well, because I was boarding somewhere. And yeah, I just felt like I had a lot of freedom and stuff like that. And a lot of times guys kind of, when you find those manipulative, toxic men, they know what females to prey on, okay? And when I say what females, it doesn't mean that that female is always gonna be that type of female, but we've all had that point in time in our life where we've been a little bit more vulnerable than normal, or we're just not really feeling ourselves right now, or self-confidence or our self-esteem is probably just a little bit low. Just there's something off. And basically people can sense that. During that time when you're like really vulnerable, you kind of attract a lot of like toxic friends, boyfriends, just all that. When they say when it rains it pours, it's facts, okay? So basically I was in that kind of place in my life, and I attracted to myself this man, okay? I'm gonna let y'all call him whatever you want to call him. I'm not gonna give him a name on here, but basically, yeah, we met in college. And like most toxic men, really charming when I just met him, okay? This guy was like walking the walk and talking the talk. He had like a bright future ahead of him. He just had, you know, he knew where he was going. He wasn't like got nothing really going on for himself, but neither did I. You know, we're both in college figuring it out. But I just thought, you know, it was cute. We could do it together and blah, 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 blah. And I thought we were on the same page, because we were always seemingly on the same page. We were talking about our future. We were talking about children, marriage. Yes, and basically, you know, like I met his mom. And I also introduced him to my family. I spent the whole Christmas at his house with him and his mom. And, you know, she had a business. I would help her out with that. So I really felt like it was a legitimate relationship. I didn't feel like I was being dumb. Like most times we don't feel like we're being dumb. You know, you never really see the situation coming until it hits you. You know what I mean? And I really felt like I had struck gold. I felt like I did that. You know, this is it. This is it. This is my guy, my person. And yeah, anyways, fast forward a little bit. We are now a while into the relationship. There were signs in the beginning, like most times there are signs, but I feel like, I don't know why we do this, but we have a habit as females to kind of try to see the best in people. Not all of us, but a lot of times we do this. And especially when you want to believe, you're gonna want to believe what you see, right? And not always the whole picture of what you see is what you can really see. I hope that makes sense. But basically, you can see things, but you're gonna pick and choose what you're seeing to believe. Anyways, basically, I knew something was going on because he would spend a lot of time on his phone talking to this specific female. But he kind of assured me that this girl was nobody. You know what I mean? She lived in a whole nother country on a whole nother continent. Okay, like it was far away, and I just didn't see a point in creating a problem over somebody who to me didn't exist. And he was spending all his time with me, and I just, you know, he reassured me that my position was solid. And we do that a lot as females. We all know somebody who they don't care what their man is doing as long as they know that they're wifey, and you know they're his number one, and he's coming home to me at night. It don't matter what he's out there doing and blah 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 blah. They don't care about none of the rumors. They don't care about none of that, as long as he's not having you looking like a fool. As long as shorty is kind of like knowing her place and that kind of thing, they don't care. Okay, so yeah, basically I was just like, I don't care. And didn't care until I got pregnant. yeah, y'all, I got pregnant, and a lot of the time with these situations, I don't know if Derrick's wife has children for him, but I think they do. But I know a lot of the times these men, when they either marry you or get you knocked up, they feel like they own you now. And they feel a lot more comfortable, and that's usually when their true colors start to show. That's when they start doing things out of the norm, and you start feeling kind of trapped a little bit, because you're like, oh wow, like I'm kind of in deep now, because either I have a baby on the way or I just got married to him. This is a legal situation, and a lot of times we just don't know what to do. And the more things that they do to you, you kind of feel more alone. Yeah, so the more things they do to you is the more alone that you feel, just because, like, you ever been in a situation where the shit's just so crazy, it just starts to become embarrassing, and it just, after a while, it feels like you just can't do better. And these situations, like, eat you up so much inside. And if you've ever been in this situation, you know what I'm talking about. Like, after a while, you really just feel so beaten up. You just feel low. You just feel like, almost like you start telling yourself that this is it, you know, like you just can't do any better. And yeah, a lot of times when people are in that situation, it's very similar to like victims of abuse. They just feel beaten down so much that they oftentimes don't reach out for help, or they just stay a lot longer than they need to because they've already been beaten down, if you know what I mean. So I feel like that's also one of the reasons too why usually in situations like these, the guys don't start showing their true colors until they feel like they have you in a place where you are willing to stay. And I feel like with Derrick, he saw a female, she was probably vulnerable. He knew she was super into her church. He knew that by her belief, if she is married, she is committed to the person that she is married to. She's very religious. And basically, he just pretends to be the person that she was looking for whenever he's around her, because from what I am seeing online, it seems as if he's one way with her and then he's a whole nother person when he's with other people, because they're all saying, oh, this is not him, you know, like he acts this kind of way around me. And in the video that I watched with his wife, you know, he's talking about God and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, make it make sense. It's just not the same guy. It's literally not the same guy. And this story just really reminds me of that, because it was just like, when the shit hit the fan and I got pregnant, y'all, when I tell you the person that this guy became was not the person that I was with for that whole time before. I felt bamboozled. I felt like an idiot. It just was so embarrassing. I just couldn't even tell people, because the first thing you would think when you hear this kind of shit is, how do you not know, you know? And we don't always mean to come off like that, but sometimes when you hear people talking about their struggle situations with their person, in your head, you're just thinking, yeah, that could never be me. If that was me, I would have been left. Or, you know, like, sis, wake up. Like, it's just easy to give advice when it's not you in the situation. And, yeah, so I just wasn't feeling like talking about it or reaching out to anybody or anything like that. And like I said, he became a whole nother person. As soon as I got pregnant, the whole shorty's a nobody, that whole story flipped around. All of a sudden now they've been together for years, and it made it seem as if like I came into the picture to destroy their relationship. And I'm like, dude, you seeked me out. Like, this is crazy. You've been at my house nonstop for the longest. You were not even trying to use protection. Like, what kind of relationship do you have with this person? Like, you weren't trying to protect your own relationship if it did mean something to you. You know what I mean? And these type of people are very manipulative, and they know how to get into your head to make you feel like even though things are happening to you, like this is because of you. And it sounds crazy, but I was also of that mindset. Like I was really trying to figure out what went wrong and what I did and how I can make it better. And basically I was just letting this dude spin me on a web of lies. He would be like, oh, well, the issue is because of this and you're not doing that and blah, 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 blah. And I was really jumping through hoops, y'all, trying to be somebody that I was not. I was like looking this girl up. I was looking at her pictures. I was like, damn, just like this situation where people are like, oh wow, the mistresses, they're like Instagram baddies. Look how they look and this and that. And then this one's a doctor or whatever, and the wifey is a stay-at-home mom. I was there, y'all. I was literally looking at my situation. I was pregnant now, so I dropped out of college. I'm like, damn, I'm pretty much a fucking bum. And you know, the girl, I'm not a hater, so I can admit she looked good. You know, she was foreign, so she was white, she had long motherfucking hair down to her ass, and like she was also thick as fuck. I was like, yo, where did this girl come from? I swear to God, like that shit ate up at my self-esteem. And especially being pregnant, oh my God, I'm gonna do a whole nother video on this. But when you're pregnant, especially with your first child, and every time you look at your body, there's something out of place and there's something different. You literally feel like a stranger in your own body. It's hard when you're not going through all these changes with a good support system that makes you feel beautiful still, because yeah, postpartum depression is a real goddamn thing for many reasons, and most of that is because of all the changes that your body goes through. And basically, while I'm already going through all this, and then he's cheating with somebody who looks like she just stepped out of a fucking commercial, I'm just like, damn, like maybe it is me, you know, maybe if I didn't look like this, or maybe if I was doing that, or like I'm reading the text messages, I'm like, damn, she seems kind of like chill, and I'm like constantly up his ass. Like I don't know, maybe I need to relax a little bit. I tried to even stop complaining about the situation, even though it was wrong, and like they just make you feel crazy, yo. And I was just like, yo, I know this motherfucker is doing me dirty, I know I deserve better, but he made me feel like I should not be complaining. Yeah, it sounds crazy, and that's why I haven't shared this story a lot, because it's embarrassing. But you know, it is real life, and I did go through it. I know other people that go through similar situations, and this shorty, this Derrick Jaxn girl, she just really reminds me of myself at the time. Just the way how in the video she was just sitting there, and you know, he's basically talking over her, like sharing his thoughts as her own, and she's just agreeing with everything he's saying, and the way he's holding onto her hand so tight, it's just like a control thing, and it just was rubbing me all kinds of wrong. Just like, sis, blink twice if you need help. Like I just really hope that she has people around her that aside from all the cameras and whatever fame they got, that she has people in her corner, because that kind of shit will make you kill yourself. Like, and I don't even want to just sound so blunt, but it will. Like, I felt so low in that situation. I didn't feel suicidal, but it was very unhealthy for me. I started spotting when I was pregnant and all kind of stuff. Like, I went to the hospital twice because of this dude. And yeah, I don't know how this baby made it here, but she did. Thank God. But yeah, like, it just was crazy. And so basically the story that I'm gonna tell you is when he decided to bring this girl to Jamaica. So he brought her to Jamaica, and real quick, before the, like, exactly the weekend before she came, we had sort of like patched things up. We had like really deep conversations, and I thought we made up. Basically, we were in a good place, and I was like, okay, we're moving forward. Told me he was gonna stop talking to the girl and everything, and yeah, he basically just reassured me. And now that I look back on it, he basically did that just so that he could get me out of the way for the time period that she was going to be in Jamaica. You know, just make me feel happy enough so that I wouldn't be riding his ass, and he could basically ignore me while she was there, and I wouldn't notice. But I like to search phones, so I searched his phone and I read messages, and I realized that, okay, not only are they making plans for her to visit, but there's already a ticket booked, and basically she's coming in a matter of days. And I was just like livid. I was really livid. Once again, I felt fooled. I was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, why are you making up with me if you know you have this girl coming here? Why are you lying to me? Why are you saying that you're like done with her? Like, I'm just really confused. What is going on? And basically he told me some bullshit. He was like, oh, you know, she had booked that ticket a long time ago, and that basically she's not really having money like how I think she has money, and it would really, really kind of like hurt her pockets to like lose out on her trip, and he's not the only reason she's coming there, but she doesn't know anybody really in Jamaica, so she has no place to stay at, and she don't have no money to get a hotel, and blah, 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 blah. So he gotta be like an Airbnb, so she's coming to stay at his house. But he told her about me, and basically I already broke it off, so it's not gonna be none of that tomfoolery while she's there or anything like that. After she leaves, it's a done deal. And I mean, a part of me honestly thought about it, and I was like, okay, it's just 2 weeks, just play it cool, give him the benefit of the doubt. But y'all, it was just not sitting right with me. It was not sitting right with me at all. I couldn't sleep the whole time that she was there. I just was constantly thinking about it. I was not eating, not sleeping, and that was the time that I started spotting, because I just was constantly thinking about what they could possibly be doing, and I was driving myself crazy. It was insane. And it didn't help too that during this time, like about 2 days had passed that she was there, he was ignoring me. Yeah, I was calling and all that stuff. He didn't call to check upon me, nothing at all, nothing. I was like basically like non-existent. So I started feeling like, okay, he's lying, he's obviously trying to hide me somewhere. And I just felt a need of urgency, like, you know what, this might be my only chance to confront this girl and find out exactly what is going on from her, because it's clear that he will never ever ever be honest with me. And at this point, I basically, like, a light bulb clicked in my head, and I was like, if we're done, we're done, but I need to know what's going on. And yeah, I brought my ass to his house, let him know, listen, I'm spotting and shit. Yo, he never even had any concerns of like trying to bring me to the hospital or anything. He was just so upset that I was at his house, and he basically was like, what are you doing here? You know, the girl's here, just all this shit. And I was like, yeah, I just said I'm bleeding. I'm like standing outside. This is fucking crazy, you know? And the girl wasn't there. And the whole time, he was kind of like, I went inside. I could see that the place had been cleaned up very well. Yo, he even started pointing at that, saying how she came and she cleaned up everything, and like how much of a better woman she was than I was, because I didn't do that kind of stuff. And just making a lot of comparisons, and just like saying if I was like that, then I wouldn't be in this situation, and just a bunch of stuff. And I was just like really feeling like, wow, I cannot believe this right now. Like, I'm literally standing here bleeding, and you are like tearing me down at the same time. Like, this is like really unreal. Like, you're a piece of shit, but okay. And I was there, and this story is gonna get crazier and crazier, and yeah, anyways, yeah, the girl ended up coming back. He was cussing me out, yo. Like, he was basically threatening me. He was like, if I don't leave, and like not say nothing to shorty, that he's done with me completely and I can figure out this whole baby shit on my own, because basically he ain't gonna have nothing to do with me. Like, really trying to like get under my skin. And he was like, you know, if I cared about him, then I wouldn't be doing this, and he already told me something, and I'm over there trying to start a pot, and blah 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 blah, and how come I don't trust him. Just like a bunch of stuff trying to like get in my head. And I just was really feeling stubborn that day. I was like, I don't care what you say, I'm staying. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Even if I gotta wait outside, I'm not leaving until she gets here. And he was like calling me out my name, everything, saying we're done. Like, we're for sure done. And I'm like, that's okay. That's okay, buddy. That's a-okay. She got there, and you know, I introduced myself. She had heard of me, but get this, like, he told her I was just some girl he went to college with, and basically I was a nobody. And I'm like, that's funny, because that's the same thing he told me about you, and he basically lives at my house. But all right. So I told her all of that, and y'all, don't ever trust the other female to do the right thing, okay? Not all females are built the same, and some females, like I said, they don't care as long as they feel like they're the top bitch. So as long as they're getting the feeling that, guess what, I'm the priority here and I'm important, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a damn that he cheated. They don't care what it's looking. They don't care, okay? And yeah, like I said, he was toxic as shit. And of course, like, it wasn't shocking to me that the female he chose also had the similar mindset. So she basically was like, not saying I was a liar, but I had to be proving myself to this girl. Like, literally, I'm like, are you dumb? Like, whatever, I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, I had to be proving myself to her. Like, I even had to lift up my clothes and show her my stomach and all that, because she wasn't believing I was pregnant. I was like, why would I lie about that? But anyways, yeah, she was upset with him for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean a real little bit, okay? Because y'all, after all this shit, most people would pack up their shit and leave. Nah, she stayed, and so did I. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. It's just so embarrassing and so cringy. I would never, ever, ever, ever advise anybody to do this. Like, girl, pick up your dignity and go. This shit is just so fucking embarrassing. But I decided to stay because, I don't know, I just was so depressed, y'all. I just couldn't be by myself. And I don't know, I just felt like at least if I was there, that I could prevent things from happening. And yeah, that was not the case. Oh my gosh. So I stayed, and it was so awkward because I was basically watching him follow her around for the rest of the day, kissing her ass and telling her how much he loved her, and he could live without her and all kind of shit, like talking me down like I'm nobody and I'm just there. Just like, ugh, could you imagine how awkward that was? Like, I was literally just sitting there hearing him trash talk me. And I was just like sitting there. I don't know why. But yeah, and then later that night, you know, she sort of, I guess, started coming around. And y'all, so I was in the room, right? And I was laying down, but you know, like I said, I've been having trouble sleeping, so I could not sleep, y'all. And I just had so much on my mind, like replaying the whole day, like wondering if I made a mistake saying anything, because I kind of felt dumb, especially after realizing that she didn't break up with him, like she's still there. So I just made myself look like an idiot, you know. I just felt like I probably should have just cut him off and just not even gave him the dignity, not dignity, but not even gave him like the audacity to feel like he was that important to me. I should have really, if I could have gone back in time, y'all, I would have been left this dude. Been left. But I stayed and put up with way more than I needed to, and this was one of those days. I was in that room, y'all, and when I tell you, they were in the living room on like a pull-out sofa, and y'all, I couldn't see and hear them basically just doing their thing. Yeah, and yeah, it's just, I don't know why, y'all. For one, I don't know what kind of person does that, because I don't know, I just feel like even the most despicable human being could wait. But like I said, all he cared about in that moment was making up with his girl, and she obviously didn't give two fucks about me or my feelings either. And I obviously didn't even care about myself because I was there. And yeah, I was just there. And I was just like, wow. Like, of all the crazy shit that's ever happened to me, I think that's by far the craziest. Because it's one thing, like, knowing that somebody cheated on you after the fact and them telling you the details, but when you're there and you know, usually when people cheat, like, even if they come to you and you find out after the fact, you kind of have this feeling like, yeah, you didn't really care about me, you weren't thinking about me at the time, because if you cared that much you wouldn't have did it, or blah 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 blah. But literally watching somebody not give a damn about you, you're just like, wow. Like, wow, you know, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. But I mean, as hurtful as that situation was, I definitely needed that to happen, because I feel like after that, like most toxic dudes do, he came around after she left and he was trying to be all up my ass again. And even after that, he's tried several times to get back with me, and it just was like, yeah, no. And I feel like if I didn't go through so many traumatic experiences with him, I probably would have like given him chance after chance after chance, just for the simple fact that we have a child. And I just felt like, you know, I definitely did want to work on a family, but I just couldn't do it. At the end of the day, he just did way too much, and every time I even thought about it, I just had flashbacks, like nightmares, and I was just like, no, I just can't. Even if I wanted to, I could not. And yeah, it just, no. Basically, that was it for this story. Needless to say, I was stressed out for the rest of that trip, like the rest of the time that she was there. And it was terrible, but at the end of the day, I was done, and thankfully I got out. Not everybody is that lucky. Some people take a lot longer of a time, and for some people they never get out. Like, it ends really tragically, and that's why I want to encourage us, especially as females, not to ever knock the other female. If you see a female in a situation like this, you should definitely, if anything, try to offer her advice and just let her know that she's a queen and she deserves better and that she's not alone. Don't ever fix your mouth to like come at her and like tell her, oh well, maybe it's because of this. There's no reason at all for somebody to treat you like less than a person. And if anything, it says something about them as a person, because if I'm confident in myself, if I don't too much care for another human being, I don't even feel the need to explain that to you, because that's my business. And I don't have to like you, just like people don't have to like me. But if you feel a need to knock me down to make yourself feel good, then baby, there's something wrong with you, okay? And you need to get help. So, I mean, I've definitely grown and learned a lot over the years. I'm going to continue to share more stories, as cringy as they may be. Make sure you give a big thumbs up drop a comment. If you feel like you're alone or you just want somebody to talk to, feel free to reach out to me on any of my social medias and send me a DM. I will never judge you, sweetheart. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I guess we'll all just be watching this Derrick Jaxn situation, hopefully praying for his wife that she will somehow come out of this stronger and better, and that somehow she'll find it in herself to forgive herself for everything she put herself through, and just some peace, that God can give her some peace to move on. And just, girl, it's not the end of the world. It's rough, but it's not the end of the world, okay? Bye, guys. I will see you in the next one.